Welcome to another video from Dr. Lock. So we're going to look at a new product that's come across the workbench, and I'm going to show you what it's got in common with these padlocks here. Double-sided one. Okay, so there's this one here with the Australian made flag. They've recently added the Australian made flag. That's pretty cool. We'll get into that in a moment. So the first cab off the rank is one we've looked at previously. Sorry, this is a new one we haven't looked at. This is a new lock by Carbine, CDSP, and it's got a lot of functions which are similar in nature to this other lock right here. So here we have the ABUS 8350 dual padlock with this kind of funny shackle where it interlocks two padlocks. So I'll give you just some specs on all of them so then we can compare apples with apples for people who are looking for a dual key padlock. So first of all, why would you want a padlock like this? I mean, it's not the most sexiest. A padlock like this gives you access to two different keyways to undo the padlock. So for example, you twist it, you unlock it, you take your chain off or wherever it's clipped onto the pad bolt, and then you can lock it back. And on this side here, you could do the exact same thing. This padlock here, you can take the key out in the locked position, and when you're ready, just clip it back on. So it's not key retain. You can install a 6-pin security key system, like any of the JA, JB security key system where it's 6-pin in line. So that's just the ABUS version of the same similar type of thing. So I'm just giving you a bit of just giving you a few specs so we can kind of compare them. So that's the ABUS one right there. It's big, it's chunky, cost you 2 padlocks, plus you got this funny shackle thing, and it took quite a while to build, probably about 20 minutes to build. So it's not my favorite lock. It's not the most sexiest of locks, but it does do a job of dual key padlock. Now this is the new one here from Carbine, which as you see, it looks a little bit more sexy. It looks a bit like a heart shape. So, and it'll really make a really nice funky love lock. So if you wanted to, because it's made out of aluminium, you could get it engraved, and it'd definitely stand out from all the other heart-shaped love locks. Here's another love lock too with a nice heart-shaped symbol on it. So we can do things like that. But with this padlock, yeah, you could do that as well. But that's not really the purpose of it. And the cost of a lock like this would probably be around the $200 mark, with a couple of restricted keys in it. So, for a love lock, it'd be an expensive love lock, especially if somebody comes along and cuts it off the bridge or wherever you leave it. The good thing about it is that, let's say that, there's a divorce, the lady can come along with her key and remove it. Yeah, that's her undone. And the guy could come along too if he wants to break up, and he could remove it too. But that's not the design of this lock. This lock is designed to be a dual use padlock as well. So the question is, what does this lock have over this ABUS lock? What's the difference here? Okay, so let's put that one there. And then we're going to throw another one into the mix, which was this new one, which we did a review about recently. This one has dual key padlock it's a dual key padlock as well. Part number CDEP. Now, if you want either of these, let me know. Contact us on our website and we can order it or put a security key into it, and you can do all sorts of funky things with them. With a lock like this, they're generally designed to allow 2 keys. You might say, why would you want 2 keys? There's many reasons where you would have a cleaner who have their key, or somebody who picks up something and they've got their key to get through the gate, and then you've got another key which lets the security in that works the rest of the building, as an example. Or a meter reader could have access, and you could use your other key as well. So basically, 2 people with 2 completely different keys. There's multiple scenarios where this would be efficient. ABUS thought it was efficient, and Carbine, sees it as being a necessity as well. Okay, so this padlock here, 2 keys, yes. I turn the key, the padlock shackle opens, I clip it back down, and I'm good to go. The only real difference I can see with this one is it is key retain, but that's only in the format that it's in. There might be an option to actually make it, lockable without. But on this particular one, it is key retain. Weight on this is fairly, it's reasonable. You're talking a few 100 grams. It's definitely half the weight of this one. And the price-wise, it's much better price-wise because you're buying 1 unit rather than buying 2 units, plus the shackle parts, plus the 20 minutes it takes a locksmith to put it together. So in that respect, the Carbine definitely, has the advantage over that. Looks-wise, the Carbine has the advantage on both. So definitely looks a lot better than this big chunky thing up here. Keying platform. They all take the 570 cylinder, so you can put any inline inline 6-pin restricted key system in that you want. Both are the same. So I'll just take that out there, and same on this. Even the actual shape of the cylinders here, and nothing that we haven't seen before. It's just a figure 8 configuration. To remove and dismantle this padlock, I found it quite easy. Actually, I did do a building video, and all of a sudden my video didn't save, so I'll just do a quick demonstration again. I just need a Phillips head screwdriver, nothing flash, nothing special to do this, and we'll take this apart and I'll just give you a look. So to undo it, you need the key. You put the key in, you turn it, you release the shackle, and then you get your padlock. So then you get your Phillips head screwdriver just down the back there, and you remove the Phillips head screw. Once that's been removed, you should be able to slide out your figure 8 cylinder housing with your plug in it. So they've got the quick change at the bottom here, which is kind of nice. If you want to key up to code, you can just simply flick those pins right out, and like I'll show you one there. Oh, there's 2. You can flick them out like that, pop your new pins back in, and be on your way. So that's a handy little feature. I'm pretty sure the ABUS has that function as well. The cylinder, it's a 570 cylinder with a funny cam on the back, and to get it back in, all you got to do is simply slide it back in and tighten up the screw. Now, just one more thing, just as a quick little note. When I got this padlock, the 2 ball bearings were out, and I was thinking, oh no, that doesn't seem too good. But it was so quick to put together that, I thought I might just show you one more time. So there's that. Let's just push that out. We're on the right side. There we go. All the parts can come out. Here's my little pick tool. Let's take that out too. Okay, so going back to the olden days when we were building padlocks, and a lot of people who have mucked around with the ABUS padlock know how difficult it is to actually get back together, and how much time it can take, especially when the coil section, this part here, gets undone. On an ABUS one, it can be a real nightmare and a real, bit of a challenge getting there. It can be done, but you're talking can be 20 minutes. And for people who have built old 234 padlocks, you'll be familiar with your spring, your pins, your sanding, and all that sort of stuff. So let's take that all into consideration when we do this. So I've just stripped down one half of this padlock, and there is still the other side of it to do as well. So this will give you a good indication on what sort of time you'd be needing to knock one of these padlocks together on a restricted key system, or rekeying it, or just pulling it apart in general. So let's start off with just throwing our shackle spring in there. That's nice and easy. We'll put our shackle in there. Okay, we're going to drop 2 ball bearings in there, just in there. Just drop them in there. They'll go where they want to go. And I'm just using a pick now to push them on one left, one right. Then I pick up this piece here. Now this piece here is a circle with a little bit of a notch part on one side. So that, if you can see it there, can only go in one way, and it's actually milled in there, so I can't get this wrong. I just got to drop that in there, like so. It's got a little posi groove there, so I'll just push that in. Okay, and I'll just wiggle a little bit. There we go, and it's now slotted itself all the way down, and that shackle now is retained by those ball bearings. Let's grab our cylinder, throw that in over the back of it, push the key in and turn it. So now we can access our cylinder screw retainer. So I'm going to drop that in the side and tighten it. Okay, so that's how easy it was to rebuild one side of the cylinder, and you're going to find it just as easy on the other side as well. So in all fairness, rekeying and pulling the cylinder out is an absolute breeze on these ones. There's a couple of little holes for drainage there. It looks good, and it does the purpose. So one of the biggest questions I asked when I first saw this padlock over this padlock is, why is this one a heart shape and this one just a round one? What's the difference? Is there any difference? Why would you go to so much trouble of making a dual key padlock and then bring out another dual key padlock? So the only difference that I could kind of find is that on the heart shaped one, you could actually keep it locked into a chain on one side. So that means that if it's locked in on a chain, there's less chance of it kind of going missing or getting lost, because it's got, it's locked in on one side. As where the other two, once you remove it, the whole unit is removed from that chain. So on a building site or somewhere where you've got a fixed chain which is kind of welded to a gate, yeah, it makes sense. This dual key system would be in use, and If it's still locked to the gate, there's less chance of you losing it, I guess. Leave it down in the comment section why you think the 2 shackles would be more beneficial than the 1 shackle. I can't see a lot, and especially in the places I use these, I would be using either and that'd still do the job. The only thing I can think of which would be a downfall with this system here is if you want to use 2 shackles, is that sometimes on a pad bolt or going through a chain you'd have to put it through both, so that wouldn't really work. So the only way I can see this being of benefit is when you are using a chain, which is a flexible locking on 2 points, because if you're using a chain it just wouldn't work. I mean, you could probably get a loop around there, you could, but you know, just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. So this one used on chain setups, this one can be used just about anywhere, but you might lose the padlock. Being a big padlock, it's not kind of locked on there, just like any other padlock. Once you open it, you can be removed, and that's it. So this one here is, it's key retained, can't get the key out. This one here, you can get the key out. See, and I can just clip that back together. The ABUS, once again, you can take the key out and you can just clip it back together. So I think if you're going to compare apples with apples, you could go along this fashion. Double-sided cylinder access, key removable, double-sided key access, key retain. Double-sided key access, probably more set up for a gate type scenario, but it would make a pretty wicked love lock if you wanted to get it engraved. But yeah, that's what's on the table at the moment, and they are coming out now with this Australian made sticker, so that's well worth noting as well. Price wise, you're up for kind of 2 padlocks, less shackle, and then you buy these 2 shackles. So I'm 99% sure these things are going to come in at a much better price, which is kind of what we're all after. As far as weight wise, this one is the chunkiest. This is coming in at, you know what, there's not a lot of difference there, but there is a fair difference there. Let me give you some sizes on these two so you can gauge up what's kind of going on here. We're looking about 138 mil that way, about 50 mil that way, and just across the body probably about 20 mil that way. Shackle size here, we've got about 9.6, almost 10 mil. Let's go for the carbine CDEP. We're looking about an 8 mil shackle, just under an 8 mil shackle. Body size of this big puck looking padlock thing, about 64 mil. So that's a lot smaller. Largest point on this padlock here, about 64 mil. The height of these 2 bad boys here, let's just check that. We've got about 40 mil and we've got about 40 mil, well 35 mil. Shackle size, once again, you're going to be talking about an 8 mil shackle, so probably more commonly used than the 10. So that's my little rant and look over this particular product. You know, we've got them on the shelf because there is times where we do have commercial customers who do need a 2-key access type thing. Whether or not I'd use this one over this one, I'd probably just go for this one because it's got the 1 shackle and you can use it on just about anything and it serves a dual key purpose. This one here would only really just be for a gate. So yeah, I mean, suitable for a gate that uses a chain. So interesting lock, interesting setup, and yeah, something new that we haven't seen, and they'll be out on the market. So if you are interested in any of these carbines, we'll be adding them to our lock shop, and you can purchase from there. That'll probably be in the next week or 2. This other dual key padlock, it is on our website as well, but you've got to remember too, it takes 20 minutes to build it, and it's not as easy to build as the carbine, so we'll probably lean towards selling the carbine, because if you've got to put 20 minutes into building it and you're building 4 or 5, that can be an hour's worth of labor, and that's got to be reflected on the price. And also the price of these particular 1 units are kind of better than buying 3 parts and putting it together. So leave your comments down below what you think they can be used for. Have you ever used them? And yeah, if you think it's a good idea or not. Okay, thanks for watching.